Welcome back, ediscovery viewers. In this video, I'm going to answer a question. Are you damaging metadata when transferring data to your vendor? Metadata spoliation is a serious discussion, and we all want to make sure that when we transfer data from one location to another, all of the data gets transferred, not just the contents of the files, but the metadata associated with that files as well. So today let's talk about three different file types or three different situations when we are transferring data. We'll talk about loose files, we talk about emails that exist physically in your mailbox, and finally we talk about PST files. Let's start with loose files. If you have loose files on your network or on a hard drive and you want to copy those files, you should copy them in a way that preserves all existing metadata. You can use software such as Safe Copy, or you can create an archive, for example, using WinRAR software, and preserve high precision dates and times. If you don't do that and you just copy files over or you burn them to CD as loose files, you will be losing some of the file system metadata. Now, when processing documents, internal metadata will supersede file system metadata. However, if there is no internal metadata, such as TXT files, you still want to preserve file system metadata. So either using Safe Copy or similar software to copy those files, or putting files into a container is a good way of doing that. Now let's talk about emails. Let's say you have a live email in your mailbox and you want to send it to your vendor. Now ideally, you would have a company like ediscovery go to your client directly and collect those emails. They would go there, they would fill out chain of custody, they would use forensically proper software to download everything, you extract it, save it with all the date and timestamps. But we know sometimes it's just not possible and you already have an email in your mailbox and you just want to save it or preserve it. You don't want to forward that email to your vendor because now your name is going to be the sender of an email. But what you can do is take that message and save it to either MSG file by drag and dropping it to a file system, or PST file. We generally prefer receiving PST files, but it does take few extra steps to create those PST files, transfer data to them, disconnect them from Outlook. So it's a little bit more of a technical task, but you can do, if you have to, is just drag and drop messages to a folder, and that's an okay way to save them out to a file system, and then you can zip them up and transfer it through either FTP or share file. And lastly, let's talk about PST file. Are you losing metadata if you burn a PST file to a CD, DVD, or put it on a hard drive? And the answer to that is no. PST file is a container, and that container actually gets discarded by processing software after all the content is extracted. So what we're concerned about is metadata of individual messages that exist inside the PST file and not of the PST file itself. Now, there may be rare situations when you're investigating when the PST file was created, such as if a user made a backup or an archive of their mailbox. So in that case, you may want to look at the PST metadata. But generally speaking, metadata of a PST file itself does not matter. All right, I hope that answers your questions about metadata spoliation. If I didn't cover anything, be sure to put a comment in the comment section below. If you have more questions, ask Project Manager at ediscovery. And as usual, don't forget to follow ediscovery on social media networks listed on your screen. And for previous videos, check us out on YouTube. Thanks for watching.